What's for dinner?
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to another episode of Chef Z Cooks. Today we are making an air fryer sofrito chicken, which does not disappoint. Now hear me out. I have made a ton of air fryer recipes here on my channel and this one does not disappoint because look at this. This chicken comes out super tasty and super crispy, and that's because, we are using sofrito as the marinade, which you guys already know is amazing, and you can also use this to season other things for other recipes. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. This recipe is super easy to make, and I love that it incorporates so many fresh ingredients for awesome flavor. So to kick things off, we're actually going to clean the chicken, and this is something that I do all the time, but I don't always show it in my videos only because it can get a little bit repetitive. However, cleaning the chicken is something that is super easy to do, and I personally like that it doubles as a brine. Now, I should warn you that if you're going to do this, make sure that you thoroughly wash down your sink afterwards, just because you want to make sure that everything is properly sanitized. Now, to clean the chicken is super easy. We're going to add some white vinegar, and I'm roughly going to add a cup, and honestly I eyeball this. We're now going to add some limes. If you don't want to use fresh limes because you want to save a couple of dollars, no worries, you can definitely use the concentrated lime juice that they sell at the grocery store. Now, I personally love just how juicy these limes are, so that's how you know this recipe is going to come out really good. We're now going to add some cold water just until it's covered the chicken, and we're going to let this sit for about 20 minutes and let it do its thing. And this is what I mean in that it doubles as a brine and is actually going to help tenderize the chicken. Now, while the chicken is off to the side, we're now going to prepare our ingredients for our fresh homemade sofrito. Now, you guys know that I have made this a million times and no two sofritos are alike. And the beauty is that you can actually make this to your liking. Now, depending on what you add will affect the color, and here's what I mean. If you add all green bell peppers, then your sofrito is going to have that beautiful, vibrant green color. However, I do like to add some orange bell peppers, some red ones, and sometimes even some yellow ones, so that will alter the color, especially if that's the only thing that you use. Now, you can't have sofrito without some fresh cilantro, and you can also use culantro as well. And again, you can definitely manipulate just how much you want to add. Now, I personally love a sofrito that's very, very garlicky, so I have a ton of garlic as well in this. Now we're going to take our trusty blender. We're going to add all of the fresh ingredients. We're going to add some kosher salt because that's actually going to help everything release its juices. I'm going to add some Dominican oregano. Now, if you can't find Dominican oregano at your local supermarket, be sure to see the link down below because you can actually find it on Amazon. We're now going to blend our sofrito, and halfway through, I just like to make sure to push everything down just to make sure that everything is fully blended and properly incorporated. Now, this smells amazing, and you can definitely use sofrito to season a ton of other things. Now, if you want some tips on how to store this and freeze it, I'll make sure to link the other video where I go into a lot more detail. Now, as you can see, my sofrito is beautifully blended. It has that nice, rich green color. I'm going to taste it just to see if it needs anything else. And it's totally up to you if you want to add extra salt. I personally like to undersalt my sofrito simply because I tend to use this for a ton of other dishes that have different salt needs. We're also going to add some olive oil, some black pepper, and we're going to mix everything until it's well combined. Now, you can use all of this sofrito for the chicken, or you can set some off to the side, especially if you're making some beans. I definitely tend to do that. So I drained the chicken of the water and vinegar mixture. I'm now going to add some kosher salt and black pepper along with a tiny bit of cumin. Now, because this chicken does have the skin on it, make sure that you add a little extra salt because that's also going to help season the chicken and it's going to help the skin crisp up in the air fryer. Now, if you don't want any skin on your chicken, you can definitely find the skinless version at your local grocery store. I'm now going to add the sofrito, and I roughly eyeballed it. It's about a cup worth of sofrito. I'm now going to add a juicy lime. I only added half of it because, as you can see, it had a ton of juice. We're gonna mix everything until it's well combined, and because we are air frying the chicken, I made sure and added just a little extra olive oil so that things get going and get nice and crispy in our air fryer. You now want to let the chicken marinate for at least 20 minutes, but you can definitely marinate it overnight and it's going to come out delicious. If you don't want to air fry the chicken, you can also bake it, and now make sure to link that video as well. I'm now going to take my air fryer and I'm going to set it to 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Now hear me out. I actually like to let my air fryer warm up for about 5 minutes before I go ahead and add any of the chicken. I just find that this works a lot better and things cook up really nicely. We're now going to place the chicken into the air fryer, skin side up, and you don't want to overcrowd the air fryer. So that means that we're going to be cooking things in batches until everything is done. So once you've added all the chicken, we're gonna air fry it for about 25 minutes until it is nice and crispy, just like you see here. If you don't feel confident that it's cooked all the way through, I definitely recommend using a meat thermometer, and I'll have my favorite link down below as well. So there you guys have it. That's my recipe for some air fryer sofrito chicken, which is so delicious. I like to go in at the very end and add some extra lime. Now for the full recipe, visit my website. And until next week, I'm Chef Z y buen provecho. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Now, before you go, make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on any other tasty recipes. Now, if you really like this air fryer dish, make sure that you click right here where I have so many more.